Albert with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. We're closing in on our opening bout. Heavyweights Marvis Frazier and James Quick Tillis. The 27-year-old Tillis out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, has a record of 31-5, 24 by knockout. He did lose to Carl the Truth Williams, although he knocked Williams down twice in the first round. And tonight, Tillis goes up against 24-year-old Marvis Frazier. He's 13-1, 8 by knockout, but Marvis is still attempting to make it back from that first round KO by the champion Larry Holmes back in November of 1983. And a win tonight over Tillis would be a major step back to respectability for Marvis Frazier. We're ready for the introductions. Here's the ring announcer, Ed Darian.
Ladies and gentlemen, Murad Muhammad, president of Murad Productions, is proud to present the scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout. The judges, John McSweeney, Herb Santos, and Lillian Running Wolf. The timekeeper to bell is Jim Carpenter. Counting for the knockdown seconds, John Rogers. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of the scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout, referee Joey Curtis. And now, boxing fans, introducing the principals. First, in the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with the black trim. He tipped in at an even 218 pounds. This gentleman has a record of 31 wins, 5 losses with 24 knockouts. From Tulsa, Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome James Fighting Cowboy Tillis. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the burgundy trunks with the white trim. He weighed in at 208.5 pounds. This young man has a record of 13 wins, only 1 loss, with 8 knockouts. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, boxing fans, here is Marvis Frazier.
And the referee, Joey Curtis, about to run down the instructions. Marvis with his dad, the former world champion Joe Frazier. And it is Boondini Brown, a familiar face out of the days of the Muhammad Ali camp, with the arm around James Tillis, who used to be known as Quick Tillis. He now refers to himself, as you heard, as the Fighting Cowboy.
Could that be a contraction, the Quick Cowboy?
This is scheduled for 10. Marvis Frazier, as you saw on the tail of the tape, listed at 6'2". That is the height of James Tillis, but Frazier closer to perhaps a shade over 6 foot.
And his weight, 208. He's beginning to grow into that heavyweight mold. His legs are certainly like his father's were at that stage. Tree trunks.
And you can see the height advantage that Tillis does have over Frazier. You can check the lower right hand of the screen, and you are seeing the running time. In effect, we are now 25 seconds into round 1.
Tillis, when he feels he's in control, has a masterful quick jab. You're going to be hearing the voice of Drew Boondini Brown, who's never been known for keeping quiet in the corner.
Corner that you shared with Brown upon occasion in the days of Muhammad Ali.
I had a punctured eardrum from standing on the right side of him most of the time. And a battered back.
When the elevator comes down.
All right, that is Boondini. Go to the basement when the elevator comes down.
That means
did I hear
punch
that correctly?
to the head.
Yes.
when the guard is down. He also characterized this bout as from the root to the fruit. We beat the root, Joe Frazier. Now we're going to beat the fruit. Marvis Frazier, colorful man. He's the poet of the street.
Coming up on the halfway mark of round number 1, Marvis Frazier, 13-1, 8 by knockout. Frazier's biggest win, a 10-round decision over James Broad, the man who knocked out Marvis in the 1980 Olympic trials. And Marvis also shows a victory over Joe Bugner. Yes, the same Joe Bugner who lost to Marvis's dad 10 years earlier.
It was a different Joe Bugner, however. It was the same body, but a different person inside that body. Joe Bugner, in his prime, was a pretty good fighter. Extended Joe Frazier, Jimmy Ellis, Muhammad Ali. But here, it's that kind of first round where Quick Tillis is having his way. Marvis very patiently waiting for an opening that thus far has not materialized.
Good left hook by Tillis. And now Frazier able to back Tillis up. Tillis' biggest fight, lost that 15-round decision to Mike Weaver in a 1981 WBA title fight in Chicago. He was also stopped by champions-to-be Pinklon Thomas and Greg Page in '82.
Do that Sugar Ray Robinson on it. Do that Sugar Ray on it. There it is. There it is. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Do that Sugar Ray Robinson on it.
And we're now final seconds, first round. We'll be back right after these messages.
Me and the crew, we're taking this road across Alaska. Looking the last frontier, it's...
24-year-old Marvis Frazier out of Philadelphia in the maroon, coming out and is met by the hook of James Tillis. Bertie, you mentioned at the start that Tillis has much confidence coming into tonight's bout. But here is Frazier, after the good first round by Tillis, able to back Tillis up.
Yeah, he had it all his way. He does have a lot of confidence. And he showed it in the first round. He won that first round easily, but you got the impression Marvis was just waiting away. As he got back in the corner, the father said, Joe Frazier said, that's the way we want it. Now a little bit more pressure this round. Curtis spending a lot of time warning Tillis.
Between them elbows. Between them elbows. Between them elbows. He's ready now.
We are 1 minute in, round two. Later on, Larry Holmes defending his heavyweight championship against Carl the Truth Williams. Since Frazier was knocked out by Holmes back in November of '83, he has won twice by decision over Bernard Benton, and his last fight, a unanimous decision over Funzo Banjo. That's a name you may want to roll on your lips. Or is it Banjo Funzo?
Either way, I want him in my next movie. Right now, Tillis has been doing more of the same than he did in the first round.
Excellent combination, and Tillis has Frazier hurt. Frazier is hurt. Frazier is going down. Curtis checking it out. And Curtis calling for the standing eight. The standing eight in effect. Under a minute left, as you can see, in the second round. And here's Tillis looking to finish Frazier off.
Frazier's got to do a little bit of fighting, or Curtis must stop this fight. That standing eight count has just given Frazier new life, although Frazier's still in bad shape, has no legs under him, and an awful long time to go to the bell.
Get out.
That's the danger of the standing eight count. On the verge of being stopped, has given him new life.
Why you stop it? Hey! Come back for 1 minute.
Now Frazier fighting back.
Put him on. Step back and punch out.
Coming up on 10 seconds left in the round.
I say step back and punch out.
We're going to stay right here at the completion of the round and go to the corner of Marvis Frazier, who took a standing eight. A big round for the fighting cowboy out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, James Tillis.
You want me to fight this motherfucker for you, man? Right. Hey, scare me like that. Point Joe. Yeah. Hey, man, you all right? Yeah, I'm fine, Pop. You sure? Yeah. Yeah, I hope you sure now. Yes, sir. Bring it down. Look at mother start coming up. Get close, son. You got to get close to him, Marv. Don't fuck up.
Whoever invented the standing 8 count. Joe Frazier sent him a big package this Christmas because that saved Marvis Frazier from a knockout. Without the standing 8 count, I personally thought Curtis was stepping in to stop the bout. No legs, and we can see how he is being pummeled on the replay. One punch after the other, raining in.
In this fight, in contrast to the Larry Holmes, Carl Williams championship fight later on, there is a mandatory 8 and a standing 8. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect, and the bell does not save the fighter except in the final round. Scoring on the 10-point must system handled by the 3 judges. Referee Curtis does not score. And Marvis Frazier showing some enthusiasm as he opens up against Tillis.
Well, he's recovered now. He's a young man, strong. He's got a lot of Frazier genes in him, which means you can take a big pounding and keep coming back. Had there been a standing 8 count with the Larry Holmes fight, he would have survived into the next round. But big favor played to the Joe Frazier family, Marvis Frazier in particular, with a standing 8 count. Very discouraging for Quick Tillis, who was on the verge of a big knockout. But you see the difference in Quick Tillis when he has confidence. He is just in command. He's chasing you. He's throwing hard punches.
You got to put them together.
Tillis with a record of 31-5, 24 by knockout.
Bring him home, cowboy.
He comes off a 10-round decision. In December, last October, he lost by decision to Carl the Truth Williams, although he knocked Williams down twice in the first round.
Give me 3, 4, and 5, cowboy.
Frazier's starting to try to put some hurt on him so that at least Tillis won't attack with that ferocity he did in the first 2 rounds. And Tillis, by mistake, is standing still just looking at him, although he just landed a good right-hand shot on Marvis Frazier. Shuck it off and coming back.
I do want to point out we do not have an NBC microphone on Bundini Brown. That is the voice you are hearing from the corner of Tillis. He is located to our left and is very vocal.
Try standing next to that for 15 years and see what it does to you.
Tighten up, cowboy. Stretch out, cowboy.
There's no question. A man like Bundini can spur a lazy fighter like Tillis to fight. He just keeps you going. He gets your blood hot. He's invaluable in a corner as a cheerleader. There's nobody like him.
Did Ali pay any attention to him?
Paid him a lot of money.
Oh, here's Frazier landing with the right hand. And Tillis ties him up.
As an answer to your question, seriously, he was a big part of the alley circus. It was part of the mystique, part of what Ali loved to do. Yes, he was a big part of the alley circus.
Nice uppercut by Tillis. Marvis Frazier has that low driving stance. And opponents try to catch him with uppercuts. We saw Tillis succeed earlier. And Frazier with a very strong 3rd round and getting brave here in the 3rd. And that is it. That's the end of round 3. Coming up later on here on NBC, Larry Holmes defending his heavyweight title against Carl the Truth Williams. There is Larry back in the dressing room. Holmes very upset, though, about some of the remarks made by opponents like Carl the Truth Williams, a subject we discussed with him earlier.
But these fighters today, they think that they have to put a great fighter, a great champion down to be able to build their own confidence. You build your own confidence by your hard work, your motivation, your dedication. These guys do not have to come out and say Holmes is old, he's shot, he's finished, his legs are gone. Because if that was so and they won, all they're doing is discrediting themselves if they become champion.
Larry Holmes chasing that 49-0 record of Rocky Marciano. For Larry, it has been a run of 7 years as undefeated heavyweight champion, the longest uninterrupted reign since Joe Louis, who had a run of 12 consecutive years. And Frazier landing with that short left to greet Tillis as we open up in this 4th round.
A sizzling hook. determination etched on the face of Marvis Frazier. He's got the same look his father used to have when he get out of the corner. He looks like a tiger, wants to eat somebody up. Giving ground to the bigger Tillis, though. Tillis lost some of the spark and a great deal of the advantage he built up in the first 2 rounds, which is his history. He starts out great and then just kind of loses interest in the bout. But I gave him a big 10-8 round in the second, and therefore we are at an advantage to Quick Tillis of 29-27.
Stiff left hand by Tillis, who is tied up by Frazier. A minute in, round 4, and you'll notice we are keeping the clock in the picture. And that is running time. That is time as the round continues.
Oh, no. Now you're doing it, baby. Do that red towels on it.
Bonini summoning forth all those code words. Ray Charles, Sugar Ray Robinson, the elevator. There's so many code words, I wonder if Tillis understands any of it.
He's just kind of nodding from time to time. Doesn't want to hurt Boudini Brown's feelings.
Listen, he's got to face Boudini when he goes back in the corner. In the meantime, Frazier put together a nifty combination of 3 or 4 punches. Tillis going to sleep again. Another 3 good punches by Marvis. Slowly creeping back into this fight is Marvis Frazier, having gotten a reprieve from the standing 8 count.
Hey, watch out. Hey, watch that handspring. Get out of there. Hold it.
Our referee Joey Curtis taking charge, telling Tillis to stop the holding, along with Dick Enberg and the fight doctor, Freddie Pacheco, Marv Albert from Reno, Nevada.
As Marvis leans over in the typical Frazier manner, Tillis has been able to land some beautiful uppercuts. Good hard action by both men, but Marvis Frazier getting the advantage of that exchange.
And suddenly Boudini Brown in the corner of James Tillis. Well, at least for just a couple of seconds, he did quiet down.
Fire your gun. Fire your gun. Fire your gun.
Boudini again, you've got the firepower. Fire your guns, but so far only blanks this round from Quick Tillis.
Load up the bases and then go home. Load them up.
This fight is scheduled for 10. Coming up to the end of the 4th round.
Come on, cowboy. What you waiting on, cowboy?
Crow Wing, Minnesota, and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Crow Wing means Northern Pipe. Big.
On to round 5 from Reno, Nevada. Marvis Frazier, who at one point said he was not interested in a professional boxing career, then he changed his mind. He turned pro in September of 1980, opening with a 3rd round knockout after he was staggered in that debut in the 1st round.
Birthday, cowboy.
At one point, Marvis was sidelined for 17 months with hepatitis and a pinched nerve,
Load the bases.
looking to make it back from the disappointment of that 1st round knockout and the embarrassment of the 1st round KO by Larry Holmes back in '83.
Too much pride in that family, too much pride in the Fraziers to let something like that affect him. He's back here, he's fighting hard. I don't know whether Marvis Frazier will ever have the size to be truly a threat to a heavyweight champion, but certainly he gives it his all once he's in there. This round began with both men exchanging very hard hooks.
You got to hurt it.
And now, all of a sudden, as the tide
he
changes,
hurt Tillis.
all of a sudden, as the tide changes, you see Marvis dictating the action in the last 2 rounds, and Tillis going back to his usual retreating style. As his confidence ebbs, his speed increases backwards.
What about the Candyman? The Candyman.
Tillis opening up very strong the first couple of rounds.
You're waiting too long.
And a decisive 2nd round. Frazier forced to take the standing 8. And now Frazier, the man who is carrying this fight.
Carrying the fight, and you have the feeling that if Tillis would quit going back and stand and fight, he could get Marvis Frazier in trouble. Marvis does not have the strongest chin in the world. He's got a load of guts, but he doesn't have a big, strong chin.
Let's get out. Hold it. Hold it.
You got to stay free, boy. You got to stay free, cowboy.
left in this 5th round.
Good patented left hooks to the side by Marvis. That's where the money was for Joe Frazier. That's where the money is for Marvis Frazier in this fight.
Let's get out.
Nice combination by Tillis, and Frazier able to counter.
Just when you think Tillis could fire away and turn the tide, he starts to run again. And Marvis, not one to let opportunity go by, follows him in with thudding hooks to the body and the head.
Right back on that stick. Go on that stick.
There have been precious few jabs in this bout.
You got stick.
Once again in this 5th round, it is Marvis Frazier as the aggressor.
All right, man. Doing good. All right. Now listen, I want you to be there. You can't make love to down unless you be there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be there. Oh, really? Yeah. You can't make love to down unless you be there to touch up. Hey, bing, bing, boom, jab, bing. How am I doing, huh? Good. That's too far. I want you there.
We wait 2 hours. Got up 2 in the morning. Get that spirit in you. You ain't no ordinary man. Don't fight like one. Atomic spark. Get mad.
All right, let's get a little closer. Let's get a little closer. Look out for uppercut. All right. Let's get a little to it. All right. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
6 rounds.
A contrast in style in the corners of Marvis Frazier and James Tillis. Marvis saying, "How am I doing, Pop?" Pop says, "You're doing fine."
And in the other corner, Boudin saying, "Be a man. You work too hard. You're not an ordinary man." And of course, on my card, unofficially, because of the 10-8 round, I have it a totally even fight now. Marvis being able to take the last 3 rounds in a row as the cowboy got on his horse and rode into the distance. Marvis Frazier in hot pursuit. There you go. 3 or 4 or 5 punches and nothing in return from Tillis. Boudini just said he spit on you. Hit him hard. Boudini will resort to anything. Look at that. Marvis just chasing him around the ring and no return from Tillis.
Powerful combination by Tillis.
Let's get out.
Yes, when he squares away, when he sets his feet and he's not in the stirrups, he can punch, but he won't do it enough. He's so busy running back that he won't set himself and let the punches fly. In the meantime, there's this little Marvis Frazier like a bulldog right on him.
Cowboy, how long you gonna let him buck in there?
And it's Frazier continuing to stalk Tillis. Good left hook by Tillis.
Perfect hook by Tillis.
Let's get out of there. Nice and easy, nice and easy. No hit down the brake. That's it. Let's get out of there.
Tillis continues to have success when he goes to the uppercut.
Joey Curtis breaking the fighters cleanly, as you should. Doing a good job here. Going to be highly criticized for that standing 8, but that's the rule in the bottom.
Under a minute left in this 6th round, scheduled for 10.
That's what I'm talking about.
Punch in there. You got a hand free.
Cowboy, what are you waiting on?
You got a hand free. You fight now.
Right down, cowboy. Going to on now, cowboy.
Tillis, big right hand by Tillis. Frazier right back.
Cowboy, what the hell you waiting on?
Frazier's got one defect, is he's got too much Frazier blood in him, and when he gets nailed, he tries to fight back, sometimes causing disastrous results, as we saw in that 2nd round. But he is on fire tonight.
Coming up to the end of round 6. Good action in the corners. in the 6th round.
This bartender's next big league pitcher and loves to serve fire brewed.
Tillis.
You can't lose this one. Don't you know that? Don't you know it? When you gonna do it? Show me that.
James Tillis, 27 years old, out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Don't get mad after.
Record of 31-5, 24 by knockout. As we go to round number 7, Tillis out to meet up with Marvis Frazier. Frazier, 24 years old, from Philadelphia, 13-1, 8 by KO, that 1 loss. The first round knockout by Larry Holmes in Las Vegas back in '83. Nice left hook by Frazier.
Frazier warming up every round, getting right on target.
Man, why don't you stretch out?
What Tillis needs to do is get his gun strapped on and go forward instead of going back and fighting occasionally. Houdini wants him to go forward, but he's not. He's just fighting his Tillis fight of going back and trying to finish it with 1 punch. Now that was a hard uppercut. That's the kind that can end a fight.
Let's get out. Nice and easy. Watch your head.
Coming up later on, Larry Holmes defending his heavyweight championship against Carl the Truth Williams.
Let's get off. Let's get off.
Why don't you rock? Load up the base and then hit a home run. Keep going.
No knockdowns to this point. We have that 1 standing 8, which is in effect in this bout. That in the 2nd round with Tillis all over Frazier.
Frazier has slowed down for the first time in about 4 rounds because I think that uppercut took a little starch out of him. He felt it all the way down to his heels, and it's taken him a little time to recover. He hasn't had to zip in the steam in his punches since then, but Tillis doesn't seem to suspect as much or detect it. Boy, that's pure Joe Frazier. He's even hollering like Joe Frazier did with each hook.
Come on. Bring it up. Bring it up.
And the referee, Joey Curtis, taking a more active role these last few rounds. Usually likes to see the boxers fight their way out.
Now, he's keeping it very clean. He's keeping the breaks very, very crisp. But some of those breaks, the boxers have their hands free and they're still fighting.
What's in there, both these two punches there. Let's fight. That's it.
That's what I'm talking about. Take this. Straight down.
What's in there?
Oh. Curtis got a little bit of that punch. He took it well.
Final seconds, 7th round. We'll be back after these messages.
Where I come from, folks stand proud and tall.
We're with the Fight Doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, with Dick Enberg. We're at the Lawler Event Center, Reno, Nevada, on the campus of the University of Nevada, Reno. Later on, Larry Holmes defending his heavyweight title against Carl the Truth Williams. This is round 8, scheduled for 10. Heavyweights Marvis Frazier in the maroon and James Tillis in the white.
Keep going like that.
Coming up later, Reno's first heavyweight title fight in some 75 years since Jack Johnson knocked out James J. Jeffries. Ferdy, I'm told you like Jeffries in that one going in.
I took the short price on that fight and it paid my way to medical school. This fight is still within Tillis' reach. It's 67-66. It's a close fight because the last round was even when that big punch got Frazier off his attack, and he has not been the same since. 67-66, Frazier ahead unofficially, but Tillis not putting up the kind of fight that you have to win.
Which has been his case history.
Let's get out of here. Come on, stop holding. Will you, fellas?
Stop holding, fellas, says Joey Curtis. The scoring is on the 10-point must system under the Nevada Athletic Commission and will be handled by the 3 judges. Curtis does not take part in the scoring.
Push it out nice and easy.
Cowboy, why don't you ride?
Judges John McSweeney, Herb Santos, and Lillian Runningwood,
Cowboy.
all out of this area.
Why don't you get busy, cowboy, for your mama? For your mama, boy.
All right, now Bundini Brown saying this is for your mama.
And that was for his mama right there. 2 good jabs, 2 good hooks by Frazier that exploded off the jaw of Quick Tillis.
2 hands, cowboy. 2 hands.
Again, Tillis connecting with an uppercut.
And doing a borderline illegal thing. He's not putting a jab out there. He's trying to hold him off with an open glove, which gets the laces in the face. I'm surprised that Curtis has not pointed that out to him.
That's what he got. Man, where your fast?
Watch out of here. Listen, I want this to be closed. You understand? Close this glove. Let's go.
And there was a warning for that fist to be closed. Joey really involved in this fight. Curtis is in every aspect of this fight. He's ensuring that this is an action fight. He won't let him tie up. He won't let him rest.
On the side. On the side.
Nice and easy. Watch your head. Watch your head. Let's go.
Frazier seems to have found that gas again.
Let you keep it up.
Ooh, perfect punch by Quick Tillis.
Nice and easy.
And that will do it for this 8th round. Back with round 9 in just a moment.
Tuesday, the A-Team serves up just desserts. You eat it. And the bad guys will be eating crow. Then the Riptide guys jump into fishy business.
Uh-oh, the big guy's hungry. Lucky that Kentucky Fried Chicken's got their 9-piece special.
Jack, is that you?
Just $5.99 gets you 9 pieces of original recipe chicken and 4 fresh buttermilk biscuits. That's the 9-piece special.
Just $5.99. Oh, Jack, there's a piece missing.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. 9-piece special, just $5.99.
You ought to try Fit and Trim.
Fit and Trim? Are you saying I need a diet food?
No. This stuff just tastes great.
Come on, a fitness food that tastes good?
Yeah. See the beefy flavored chunks? Come on, just try a bite.
Wow, this tastes terrific. And it's a fitness food too, huh?
Not that you need to lose weight.
Well, maybe a few pounds. Fit and Trim brand dog food. The fitness food.
That tastes great.
A report from the Today Show Rail Route, tonight at 11.
Put that punch and once you're close, next time I'll take a point away. Let's box.
And again, Joey Curtis, very strong. Next time, I'll take a point away if you don't close that hand. He has been flagrant in disobeying Joey Curtis.
You ain't got nobody here but God and you. You see that?
I want you out of
You do 2 rounds, stretch it out, and I know.
Get the idea Bundini Brown is getting a little exasperated with James Tillis.
Yeah, his vocal power is down at least by 50%. Tillis not responding with the magic that Muhammad Ali could produce and respond to those strident tones. The main thing you've got to say, this fight has moved on the movement of Frazier forward relentlessly and the backward movement of Tillis, who just won't stand and fight. As he just did then when I was saying that he's not doing it. You can't fight going backwards as fast as Tillis does.
And less than a minute left in this 9th round.
Nice and easy. Let's get
Remember,
up. Break it up.
Curtis has told him, you flick that out there open, and it's 1 point away from you. 1 point could decide this fight because it's still close. 77 to 75 right now. I have it unofficially. Marvis Frazier's favorite.
It was Tillis getting off in the early rounds. In fact, he rocked Frazier. Frazier given the standing 8 back in the 2nd round. But it has been Frazier, the aggressor, from the 3rd round on.
Just when Tillis looks like he's about to get started with a good combination, he stops, and back comes Marvis with 4 or 5 punches, building up points. It's as if he's expecting to starch Marvis with one good punch and win the fight, and he well could.
And we'll stay right here between rounds and check out the corners of James Tillis and Marvis Frazier. You can hear the reaction from the crowd, a smattering of boos as things have slowed down these last couple of rounds.
You gotta be careful. You right? How am I doing, bro?
This is the last round, you understand?
Yeah. Be careful. You gotta be careful. Don't come out front. Stay close so we get them off. Hand back. Hand back up. Hand back. Hand back. Hand back up. Hand back. You gotta do your back. Do your back shot. Get off and stay on. Ride that hole. Touch out. Get off that hole and stay on. You got to win and come out fight. Go off first. That's right. Come out fight. Ride that hole. If you act like it, you are one. Let me know you're a cowboy, okay? Come on. Show me your cowboy. The last one.
Would you label that as confusion in the corner of Tillis?
Organized confusion. Tillis not listening to anybody.
10th and final round.
Instructions from Marvis Frazier. Well, be careful, stay close to him, keep punching. We need the round. Let's see if he can do what Pop wants. In the other corner, just fight with everything you've got. You're so far behind, you need to win with a big round. Well, Tillis should be good rested. He hadn't done much fighting for the past 4 or 5 rounds. He should get one good 3-minute round together, but there he is, grabbing and holding on to Marvis Frazier. Marvis got to come in close and try not to pay the price coming in.
Get out front. Get out front. Get out front. Come on. Come on. Get out.
There goes Tillis, bouncing back. His feet planted to try to land a good hard combination, but Marvis is taking the steam out of him.
Oh, right hand that clipped Frazier.
What could be going through Joe Frazier's mind as he sees his son on the verge of what appears to be a victory and knows he's got that weak chin. One punch could end it. He is so weary and so tired is Marvis Frazier because he has exerted all of the energy in this bout.
And if he is able to hold on for the win, he would put it alongside that victory over James Broad as the 2 significant W's in the career of Marvis Frazier.
And you'll just have to say that Marvis is back. He has fought his way out from darkness because he was relegated to absolute obscurity after that shattering defeat at the hands of Holmes. And meantime, in the ring, both men are trying to trade punches, and it's Tillis who's hanging on.
And it's under a minute left in this 10th and final round. And when you say that Marvis Frazier is back, you have to take into consideration an exchange here. You have to take into consideration the fact after Larry Holmes, it is a very weak heavyweight picture.
Yes, but that is exactly why he's right in consideration. Almost every day, a new hopeful goes down the drain, as James Broad did just the other day, as Jimmy Clark did a month ago, just when it looks like they're about ready to fight for the title. It's all over, but here, Marvis, I believe, has taken his fight.
And coming up to the end of this final round, Tillis and Frazier exhausted. And that is it. We'll be back with the decision in just a moment. Back after these messages from your local station.
I'm Bryant Gumbel. Tomorrow morning on Today, Governor Edwin Edwards facing indictment.
I'm Jane Pauley. Paul Prudhomme shows us Cajun cooking.
And we're set for the decision. Let's go to the ring. Here's Ed Daria.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. And the scoring by points as follows. Judge Lillian Runningwolf scores it 98-91. Judge Herb Santos observed the fight 97-91. And Judge John McSweeney saw the fight 96-92 for the winner, Marvis Frazier.
A unanimous decision. Marvis Frazier extending the record to 14-1 by defeating James Tillis. So Marvis Frazier continuing the turn following the loss to Larry Holmes back in November of '83. And as you saw during the course of the fight, there's so much activity that takes place in the corners of the boxes. We've traced the fight through the proceedings that took place in the corner. So here is a unique look back at the bout.
Doing beautiful for Mama.
Look, of course, the way people been hitting after the ball. Watch yourself.
He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it.
Hey, Bill. Mike, what's that? Yeah. All right. I know I'm waiting for that. You all right? See what you're doing?
You ain't got nobody here to try to...
Nice and easy, nice and easy. I want you out of there nice and easy.
2 rounds, stretching up, and I know. Now stretch out.
Don't let me fuck up. Don't keep your hands up. You all right? Yeah. Well, all right. I got my hands up? Yeah, you can. You keep going down. All right. Don't go down through. No more than chest wide. All right. Where you can see what the hell he's doing.
He's back cat now. He's drunk. You can mug him now. You can mug him now. Hey, round, cowboy.
When you go ahead, come in overhand ready to fall down behind. All right. That's the overhand right. Gotta be there. Right. You gotta fall down behind the overhand right. Hands up.
You kind of hit home runs. Load the bases up first. Bat, 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 bat. Bat, 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 bat. Boxer. You're a better boxer than he is. Oh, let it go. Go him up. You ready to go. Hey. What the hell you waiting on? Hey. Hey. And act like it. Get some spirit about you. And fight like a child. This is our birthday. We ain't gonna have no miscarriage.
Don't come up too far. You come back out. All right. Stay down there. How am I doing now? All right, you want to fight. But you gotta stay down. All right. Don't get quit loading up. All right.
Hey, wake up. Get ready.
You can't make love to him. Down unless you be there to touch up. Hey, spin, boom, jab, spin. How am I doing, huh? Good. That's too far. I want you there. You understand? Look up the uppercut.
Get that spirit in you. You ain't no ordinary man. Don't fight like one. Atomic spark. Get mad. But be cool with your body. Don't get on there. What's wrong with you? We've been doing road work. You ain't got no spirit.
You win the fight, huh? You win the fight? Yeah. That's you gotta be there. You can't look good. Yeah, all right. You win the fight. Just don't get killed. All right. Kill it. You understand? All right, yes, sir.
Let's get out of there. Nice and easy, nice and...
Don't let it slip away from us. No. Don't go back to the old stuff. They ain't mean. Get that spirit. They mean. Get it. Think about your mama. Get that for your mama. Yes. That's what it is.
I want that fist closed. I don't want that thumb out there. You understand?
Oh, he ain't coming, though.
I want that fist there.
Oh, that's both. You're going to come out fighting right there off. You act like a loser, you are one. Let me know you're a cowboy, okay? Come on. Show me you're a cowboy. It's the last one.
It's got to be pretty fast.
Right? Last one. Dead set. Win this last round. Come on, baby.
Got to win.
Marvis Frazier and James Tillis from the point of view of their corner activity, and it was Frazier over Tillis by unanimous decision. Waiting in the wings, Larry Holmes. And Carl the Truth Williams as Holmes looks to defend his heavyweight championship that is just ahead here on NBC. Larry Holmes chasing the perfect record of Rocky Marciano.